All right, so basically, I woke up in my ex-boyfriend's bed, um, and the blankets were like up over me the way that you would like fold them over all dorky if you were making a bed, or if like someone was in a coma or something like that and you just tucked them in or whatever. It was really bizarre. But I woke up technically on my ex-boyfriend's side of the bed, and I was like, all and I heard my kids playing in the living room, and I tried to remember when it was that I had actually laid down last, and I wondered how long I had been there. And my boyfriend person at the time, was like sitting in a chair-ish situation over off to my side, and like right in front of his bathroom door. And he like hurried and got up and was like acting like, oh, don't try to get up so fast and all this. And he was like unusually attentive and doty for someone who like for like me just waking up. It was just really unusual. I did feel unusual. I knew that something had happened, and I was immediately like, did like people just perform some kind of surgery on me? Like, how long was I out? It seemed like something medical happened. I was wondering, I wondered what had happened with my kids while I was out, and like I said, how long I had been out. But within a certain amount of time, I would start to get really sick, sick in some really unusual ways. Um, uh, the first thing that really stood out to me was that the back of my head hurt really, really bad. The back of my head just was an excruciating pain. It was a pain that I could feel all the way around my head and just through my head, all into my eyes. I remember that my right eye hurt. It was really swollen to where it was like protruding from my head like a pug dog almost. It was so noticeable that even the other people around me would point it out. And they'd be like, "Man, your eye, looks really, really swollen, really swole." I would begin to lose my vision and like audio. I would just go through bouts of it where I wouldn't be able to see or hear anything. Like, um, everything would go dark, and then I would just kind of open my eyes and look out, and I would wait to see light again. And as I was looking out and everything was dark, I would kind of gradually lose um, my audio. I wouldn't be able to hear anything, and then it would get down to just hearing my own heart beating. And I would listen to my heartbeat, and then I would listen to my heartbeat slow down, slow, slow way down, and then I would listen to my heart stop. And so I would just be standing there with my eyes wide open, um, and just in total darkness, completely conscious, listening, unable to hear or see anything. And then I would also, like I said, hear my heart stop. And I would wait, and eventually I would begin to hear my heartbeat again. And my heart rate and my heartbeat would, strengthen and pick back up a little bit more. And then the first thing I would hear was like, a little bit of like staticky sounds coming in. And it was like someone, maybe turning on a radio or a TV, one of the old ones, and you'd almost listen to it like power up and power down and stuff like that. Anyways, it was like the static, and it would kind of power up, power on, and you'd hear it just, it was like, something off in the distance that would just get gradually closer and louder to where you could actually hear clear, pretty clearly. And around the time that I would be able to hear very clearly again, my vision would sort of begin to, you know, come back. And I would have to wait and just stand there and be patient and just look out and wait and watch and just breathe as well as I could. And it was kind of obvious to me that I had been Neuralinked. I even at the time was looking up the Neuralink device and taking a look at it after being Neuralinked. They would have seen me going through that in my history and everything, and potentially my boyfriend at the time would have been able to go through my phone and history and see that I was looking at that device. And then my right eye was swollen really bad, and I wondered, what would they have done with my eye that could have benefited them. And one of the things that I thought of was that they could have used the